Imagine this: 3 generations, 3 lifetimes, 3 different sets of financial advice. And yet every one of them ended up stuck in the same trap. Your grandparents were told to save money in the bank. Your parents were told to buy a house. You're told to invest in markets, crypto, or whatever the next big thing is. Different strategies, same outcome. All of it sounded safe, all of it sounded smart, but all of it was a carefully packaged illusion. Your grandparents believed that saving money in the bank was the ultimate form of security. It was considered moral, responsible, the right thing to do. They worked, saved, and trusted that the system would reward their discipline. But when inflation struck in the 1970s, their savings melted away. In the UK, the pound lost almost half its value in just a decade. In Italy, the lira collapsed again and again. Across Europe and the US, families who thought they were being prudent watched their future shrink month by month. They did exactly what they were told. But the game was never designed for them to win. Then came your parents' generation. They were told not to keep money in banks, but to buy a home. Property never loses value, they said. For a while, that seemed true. The dream of owning a house became the ultimate symbol of success. Families borrowed, stretched, and signed 30-year mortgages believing they were building wealth. But a house is not always an asset. It doesn't generate income. It costs money every single month. And when 2008 came, that dream shattered. Spain, Ireland, the US, entire neighborhoods were abandoned. People lost homes, jobs, and savings in one blow. They weren't reckless either. They simply followed the new rule and got trapped just the same. And now it's your turn. You've been told not to save, not to buy a house, but to invest. Don't let your money sit idle, they say. The market always goes up. So people buy stocks, crypto, NFTs, chasing freedom, chasing wealth, chasing hope. And just like before, the cycle repeats. In 2022, the crypto market erased over $2 trillion in paper wealth. Pension funds that promised safety turned out to be full of risky bets. Even the safe paths cracked under pressure. Once again, the average person carried the losses. The faces change, the tools change, but the game remains the same. Because the system doesn't reinvent itself, it just repackages the illusion. Your grandparents saved. Your parents borrowed. You invest. 3 generations, one destination. Wealth flows up, risk flows down. Inflation is the first trap. It quietly steals your time and effort, making sure your savings never outgrow the system's appetite. Bubbles are the second. They promise quick gains, then collapse, transferring wealth from the many to the few. Debt is the third. It chains people for decades, guaranteeing a steady stream of payments to those who already own the game. These are not accidents, they're features. Inflate, crash, extract, repeat. And yet, not everyone loses. In every crisis, someone benefits. During gold rushes, it wasn't the miners who got rich. It was the merchants selling shovels and denim. Levi Strauss built a fortune not by finding gold, but by serving those who tried. During Rome's currency collapse, landowners and traders who owned productive assets thrived while ordinary citizens suffered. In every modern crash, those who owned businesses providing real value, food, energy, transport, essentials, survived and even grew stronger. The pattern never changes. The majority chase security in systems designed to drain them, while a few quietly build things that last. So what's the lesson? Stop chasing illusions. A savings account isn't wealth if inflation eats it alive. A house isn't an investment if it drains your income. An index fund isn't safety if it's built on speculation you can't control. Real wealth is found in what endures, in skills that can't be inflated away, in businesses that provide real value, in assets that generate income even when the world shakes. It's not glamorous, it's not hyped, but it's real, and it lasts. Your grandparents lost to inflation. Your parents lost to housing debt. Your generation risks losing to speculation. But that doesn't have to be your story. The biggest mistake is believing the system is designed for you to win. It isn't. But once you see that truth, you gain power. You can step off the treadmill. You can build wealth that isn't built on promises but on value. You can stop being the fuel for someone else's fortune. Because history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And every time, the system writes the same script, hoping you won't notice. Save, borrow, invest, lose, repeat, until someone breaks the cycle. Be that person, build real wealth, own real value. And when the next crash comes, as it always does, you'll still be standing. Not because you played their game better, but because you learned to play a different one. If this gave you a new way to see money, subscribe. History has already shown us how the game works. The difference is whether you keep playing or start winning.